Are we rolling? I believe so, yes. Kind of digging this couch vibe. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Hello, welcome to a new video. So as you can tell by the title, this video is for those of you who are looking and thinking and planning and plotting on moving abroad. Let me also preface this and say that I'm American, the US one. You know, there's a few Americas, the North America one, the United States of A. I'm from there. And this video is tailored to the rest of y'all from there, okay? Because I understand that Americans aren't the only people wanting to move abroad. I get that. But I don't know how else to talk to the rest of the world. So this video is for you, my fellow Americans, okay? Also, let me also say that even though we've been all around the world and we still have a lot more world to see, I never really felt compelled or qualified, I should say, to make a video like this until now. I feel like your girl have learned a lot on this journey to the degree I can share a few tips. So these are my 10 tips that you should absolutely think about before moving abroad. Let me also say that this is not in any particular order. They are all important. But the first thing we have to talk about is money, okay? And that is to have a plan for your banking. So obviously, this is something I feel like most people don't think about until they're in their new country, which I'm completely guilty of this as well. So it's fine. But this is absolutely necessary to think about, right? And so it can be a little complicated. Now, you do have a few options. If you already bank with a bank in the US, you can see if they're international, which means not only can you use your card abroad, but do they have branches in other countries around the globe? Very important. So for example, let's say you bank with Bank of America or Chase or US Bank or Regions, or even worse, you use a credit union. Now don't get me wrong, credit unions are amazing if you're in the country, right? But if you're traveling outside, or better yet, you're trying to relocate out of the country, your credit union is not going to cut it, okay? For example, I have Navy Federal. Navy Federal is great. You know, they have their downsides. They've been tripping lately the last few years. But when I'm out the country, I can't use that card, okay? And this is due to international fees, ATM fees. Also, I can't just walk into a Navy Federal outside of America. So you have to create a plan for your banking, right? So my recommendation is to open an account with an international bank. I could give a few recommendations, but honestly, it wouldn't help because I don't know where y'all are trying to move to. So what I would suggest you do is whatever country you got your eyes on, you're thinking about relocating to, see if you could find a connection to an international bank that also have branches with every country you're trying to move to. Now this is going to take some research, but it's going to be so helpful because the only alternative is for you to open up a bank account in your new home country, which is great, but also requires a lengthy process. You have to go through your residency process or your citizenship process, which can take weeks, if not months, if not years. Okay, so I'm just planting the seed. Have a plan for your banking. It's very important. That's your coin. While we're on the subject of money, I would also recommend getting a Cash App card or a PayPal card that you can use instead of a debit card. So if you have a credit card, you can use it if you want, but if you're using a debit card while you're traveling, I need you to stop right now. Okay, not only are you risking having your card hacked, you could lose it, you know, you could be overcharged, somebody can scam you, so many things can go wrong, right? When you have a credit card, it's a lot more protections, but if you're using a debit card, you're just liable for absolutely anything. All right, so I would recommend you getting a PayPal card or a Cash App card and just loading up your card so that you add what you actually need. So if something happens to that card, it isn't putting the rest of your money in your bank account at risk. Please hear me out. Please listen to me. Okay. Last tip regarding money. Do not move without savings. I keep hearing horror stories of people that's getting stranded in these countries or homeless or struggling. Just go on. What are you doing, right? So don't move without savings. And I think that there's this very dangerous narrative online that these countries are super cheap in comparison to America. And let me tell you something. Countries aren't cheap. First of all, I really hate that word. Y'all will never hear me say that word because a lot of the times it's not cheap for locals. It's only cheap to you because you're coming over here with US dollar, right? Except what happens is people get lifestyle creep. And so you come over here and you actually spend the same, if not more. I'm saying over here, y'all may not even be coming to where I'm at, but you leave, you go somewhere else and you spend the same, if not more, because you think you're saving, right? I highly recommend, for one, save some money. Obviously plan this move out and don't go into it with the mindset that, you know, you can live like a king and, you know, you're going to spend less money. And granted, you could. You know, there's people, I've been seeing those videos of Thailand rents like $500, but I just feel like that's pushing a narrative and it's a dangerous one. So don't think you can just move abroad with $500 or $1,000 and make it happen, because anything can happen. You want to think about the things that could pop up that you didn't see coming. Super important, because you're in a new country, probably a new continent, and 9 times out of 10 you probably don't know anyone, so you don't have a village yet, right? You don't have anyone you can call. So make sure you're planning for rainy days, planning for the worst that could happen, planning for fees, planning for the plan. Okay, just get the plan in and save it, all right, as soon as possible. So my next tip is more on the mental side and emotional side, but it's something I don't think people really plan to happen, and that is preparing yourself to lose your friends. I've spoken about this previously on a video about 2 years ago I did when I was in Mexico City. And I was talking about the things that I didn't expect to happen after moving abroad, and losing all my friends was one of them. Not all of them, but 99.8% of them. Okay, it's not many left. And this is because a lot of relationships you have in your life are due to proximity. You know, the friend you had since 3rd grade, your favorite cousin, your favorite coworker that turned into your bestie, that's all due because you probably live in the same city. But if you are considering moving abroad and you've never left your hometown, just prepare yourself. And it will catch you by surprise. It could be the closest person you have in your life. You know, a few weeks later, you barely talk to them, or you talk to them less. And then a few months go by, they say they're going to visit and they never do. And then next thing you know, y'all are just distant strangers, right? And it just happens. You know, you're entering a new season, a new era of your life. And as you lose, you will gain, right? Another thing to note is that you will be an outsider in your new country. No matter how much it feels like home, it isn't home. And honestly, those first few weeks or maybe the first few months, it won't hit you because you're just enjoying the new vibe, the new energy, the new environment, but it will hit you. And you'll look around, everything will feel unfamiliar and new. You're gonna feel out of place and you probably break down crying. Ask me how I know. If you have stories because you've already moved abroad, please share them down below. If you broke down, let us know, because this is a safe space and I have cried on this YouTube channel one too many times, if you ask me. But this won't be a crying video, so it's fine. The next tip is to prepare to pay the American tax. I don't care where you think about moving to. I don't care if it's China, if it's Greece, if it's London, if it's Costa Rica, if it's Nairobi, Kenya. It doesn't matter where you go. As soon as someone hears that American accent, best believe they're gonna try to get over on you, okay? First of all, you may not even know you're being overcharged. Unless you really know how the swindlers swing, you may not even know. You may get got every day, honestly. But beyond that, there's an American tax when you actually meet people and try to make new friends and new connections, because I've found, and this is just my experience from traveling the world, okay? I feel like people are either eager to be my friend because I'm American, or people automatically decide they don't like me because I'm American. Like, there's this stigma, right? Especially the last year, you know, things have been a little crazy, to say the least, at home. And what our president, leader of the free world, has been imposing on the rest of the world, we're not here to talk about that, but it will affect you as an American that are in these countries. You know, I read a quote and it said, when America gets a cold, the rest of the world gets a flu. And it's so true, because you don't really understand the impact that what's going on politically in our home country can affect where your new country is until you're deep in it, right? So just be mindful of that. that, there's really nothing you can do. But at least now you can go into it having an idea that this is a possibility. I won't even say it's a possibility. I would honestly be surprised if you don't experience the American tax. Every country I have been to, I cannot name one. Let me try. I feel like London is questionable because they're used to Americans being there. But I wouldn't say I got the American tax, but I got the YouTuber tax. That's a whole nother tax bracket as well, okay? It was more so YouTuber tax than American tax for me when I was in London. But every other country, there was an American tax to pay. So keep that in mind. Now, I have fast forwarded y'all journey. I've put you in your new home country at this point. My next tip is when you move, don't just seek out other Americans. I'm begging you. This is going to be like a knee-jerk reaction because you're going to move somewhere and your first thought is going to be, all right, I need to find people who look like me, who can speak my language, right? I'm not telling you not to do that. It's not the worst idea to do. However, I highly recommend you seek out building relationships with locals for multiple reasons. For one, you want to assimilate yourself into the culture that you're now participating in and you're now a part of. You know, you want to really get a feel for your new home, but also you're never going to have the true experience of a place until you make friends with the locals. Like, truly put in an effort to seek out friendships with people who are from where you're trying to go. It will make your experience 10 times better. I honestly, now that I think about it, I don't have any American friends in Nairobi. I've met Americans. They were here on contract, you know, so we were cool. They was here for a few weeks, but then they left to go back home. I actually don't have any American friends now that I think about it. All of my friends here in Nairobi are Kenyan. That's crazy. Proud of me. Pat yourself on your back, girl. And I'm having the best time. And it's solely because they put me on to everything. Now, I don't have many friends. I'm looking forward to making more friends. And as I get back into my hobbies and find a place to call home, there would definitely be a focus for me because y'all know me. I'm a people's person. I love to talk. So clearly I am practicing what I preach at this moment. So yeah. The next tip is something that I found super helpful during this journey of traveling and just going to different places. You know, for a long time, I was spending months in a place. Like, you know, if you've been watching me for a while, then you know this. Like, I've realized I'm a slow traveler. I can't be somewhere for 3 days, 48 hours, you know, one country for 2 days, the next country for 2 days. No, I need to have time to relax, kick it, have fun, chill again, relax some more, go back out. I need at least 10 days in a place, and 10 days is bare bones minimum to truly feel like I've seen what there is to see in a place. Okay, so for a lot of countries, I spent a month at least to 3 months in a place, right? And something I always found myself doing is seeking out online community. So I would go on Facebook and search the country that I'm going to, and then like expat communities or travel groups. And y'all, you can find a Facebook group on absolutely anything. To this day, it's still crazy. I am in 1,000,001 Facebook groups. Like, I genuinely can't count. I'm obviously not active in them all. I just go into them if I'm planning on going back to a country and I get what I need. You can ask questions. You can use the search bar to find the best restaurants, the best spa, the best bar. Like, they're so helpful. And from those Facebook groups, a lot of the times they have WhatsApp groups for even faster communication. So I'm in 1,000,000 WhatsApp groups too. WhatsApp is genuinely the largest storage taker-upper on my phone. Literally. I think I have more storage of WhatsApp than photos in my phone. Like, it's crazy. I need to do something about that. And obviously, another resource for you to find an online community is my online community, Rich Friends Abroad. So I'll leave that in the description. I am currently building the #1 travel community in the world. It's a big responsibility, but I'm willing to take it on. This group is specifically for people who love luxury travel. This is not for budget travelers, no shade. Y'all have plenty of groups. This just isn't one. So this is for my luxury travelers who got a little coin, likes to spend it, but also don't like just sitting at the resort. Don't like just sitting at the hotel, not really getting up close and personal with local life when they travel. This is for my adventure travelers, people like me, basically. So if that's you, you want to be a part of RFA, and I'll link that in the description. Actually, I'll just go ahead and add it to the screen as well, because so many of y'all be watching me on the TV. YouTube be telling me y'all be watching me on the TV, which is so crazy to me. But ultimately find a online community. It doesn't have to be mine. It could be anyone. Just find you one, especially if you're thinking about actually relocating, because that's how you're going to get the 411 on a lot of the things that you would just have no idea about before you touch down. My next tip is to do research on the political climate. Now, obviously, politics is not my thing. It's not my expertise. But if you're going to live in a place, whether you want to do politics or not, politics gonna do you, okay? So you have to understand, at least at a bare minimum, what is going on in that country and if that's a good decision for you to move to at the time. So again, depending on where you're trying to move, this will look different. But you have to know, are you going to feel safe in this place? Are you going to feel welcomed in this place? What are the locals currently battling? For example, last year when Barcelona was literally targeting tourists, you remember that? They were hitting them with water guns and water bottles, kicking them out of places because they didn't want them there. Imagine not knowing that and deciding to move to Barcelona as an outsider just to be treated like a dog. We don't want that. So do your research on politics before you decide on a place. Also, those groups would be very helpful as well. I specifically remember New Year's Eve 2024, I was supposed to go to Panama, but because I'm in a Facebook group for Panama, I learned that they were doing a bunch of protests. The whole city was literally shut down. The locals was not having it. I don't know what they were protesting, but it was like days long protests. So I was like, we're not spending New Year's Eve there. And then I went to Colombia. So imagine if I didn't research that, you know, and I went and I couldn't go anywhere. I would have been pissed. Okay, so this is your sign. Now, my third to last tip, and this is a big one. All of them are big. Let's be honest. All of these are important, but this is a really big one. And that is to find media sources showcasing the downsides of the place you're thinking about moving to. Because this is what happens. You find a TikTok of a new place, you know, someone just moved to, and you like, oh my goodness, they're talking about it's cheap, it's beautiful, people are friendly, da da da. Oh, I want to move there now. So then you go on YouTube and you watch some videos, and everybody have so much positive to say. You may even find a blog article, same thing. So you are convinced that this is your new home, except you don't know that maybe, you know, they're number one for kidnappings, or that it isn't safe for the LGBTQ community, and you over here married to your husband for the last 15 years and you're a man, right? So you're gay, but you didn't even look up the fact that they don't welcome gay people, right? So something I highly recommend you do is, in the midst of all that excitement and all that eagerness to get the hell up out of the United States of America, you intentionally seek out bad news about the place. Look up people who didn't have a good experience. Look up people who hated it after they moved and they decided to leave, and learn why. Because for one, this is important for you to know the downsides and not just the good side, but maybe what they considered a deal breaker isn't a deal breaker for you. But alternatively, maybe their deal breaker was your deal breaker. Okay, so I strongly advise y'all to go out your way and seek out negative reviews on the country that you're thinking about moving to, and decide if you still want to move there after the fact. Now, my second to last tip is something your girl has personally endured, okay, had to think about. And this will vary depending on where you are in your life. And this is to take the dating scene into consideration. Now, if you're already married with kids, divorced, you don't have no plans, no goals, no desire to date, then you may just be fine anywhere. Okay, but if you were like me when you first left the US, single as hell, ready to mingle and get outside, it's very important where you end up, okay? Especially if you have a certain preference. So this is definitely something to think about, because if you're a single woman or a single man and you have a desire to get into a relationship or get married, you know, down the line, whether that's in 2 years, 3, 4, well, if you're trying to move somewhere, you have to think about, is the person that you have in your mind or your preference in that place. And it's so interesting because when I was in South Africa, I noticed that a lot of the people who moved to South Africa, and YouTube is my witness, y'all can look up the videos right now. Most people who relocate to South Africa from America are older, retired, with children, okay? So I'm just like, there is no young people moving here? Like, what is going on? And it's something to really take into account, but you may not think about it. This may be like the last thing you think about because you're too busy making sure it's cheap, okay? So just planting the seed. Also, if you do have children, I already know as parents, you're thinking about schooling, safety, what their upbringing will look like, what that education system looks like. But you should also think about that too if you're someone who's single and want to get married and have kids. Very important. So just a tip. If you haven't already, please leave a comment if you left America. I know some of you have already left because y'all tell me y'all went to Thailand, you ended up in Tanzania, all over the place. Like, I be seeing y'all comments. So if that's you and you haven't shared your story, please do so in the comments because I love reading them. And also other people are reading them, especially someone who clicked on this video and that are thinking about leaving the US to move abroad. So trust me, they probably want to hear it just as bad as I do. Now, the last tip for this video is to think about how easy or how hard it will be to get citizenship for that country. Now, some countries like the UAE doesn't offer citizenship no matter how long you've been a resident there. You could live your whole life there, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and never get citizenship. So something to really take into consideration, what does that process look like? And also, how expensive is it? This will vary country to country. Some countries, they do citizenship by investment. Some countries require you to be there for a number of years before you can apply for citizenship. Some countries only offer it through marriage or birth. Some countries you gotta pay to play a Bitcoin. So this is something you definitely want to think about and research and plan for. So those are my tips for moving abroad. I definitely think I listed more than 10, but I hope you all found this video helpful. Once again, if you want to join the #1 travel community in the world, RFA, you can do so at the link in the description. I'll be waiting for you, and I'll see you all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck to everyone on their journeys because you're going to need it, okay? But it's going to be great. So good luck, y'all.